right, so before I start, 2:24 in the morning, November 12th, 2025. Listen, I made it clear that like just a couple nights ago, my mom was like, I heard her like yelling in her sleep, Jesus and have mercy and stuff, and I believe that people can actually like be cloned and stuff, and it could be lookalikes acting like people, and my mom could be somewhere being attacked somewhere else right now. A lot of the stuff that I've seen just don't sit right with me, especially that missing person report that got filed in September 2024. And nobody in Los Angeles, California told me that a missing person report had got filed. And I wasn't hiding. Like, everybody knew my whereabouts. I was only at three different shelters the whole time I was living in Los Angeles. And that was the LA Mission, the Testimonial, and the Tiny Home Shelter. So I'm not gonna lie to myself. If God has given me direct understanding of like how upset and unhappy He is about a lot of stuff, I don't know what happened down the line. I don't know what took place, but I truly believe my phone got hacked and people was like using my image and arguing with people on social media. And then when I would ask the same exact people what was going on, they would play clueless with me, act like they didn't know. I think a lot of that was happening in Cali. And even though God giving me direction is like when I'm gonna go back. I'm just waiting for like certain instruction. But I'm not gonna lie to myself, yo. And another thing, to all celebrities, I've reached out like to one particular singer, but there was never a response. And I also like sent the rapper Lotto a message, like I feel like God be talking to me about you, but that was just about it. I did send a whole lot more messages to SZA though, but there was never reciprocation, meaning there was never a response. But I have sent out a lot of YouTube links to like a bunch of people, like a bunch of different celebrities, but there was never a response from anyone out of all of those YouTube links I sent out. So, with this being said, I'm not gonna lie to myself, yo. That's why I said as a Lily, a lot of my prayers been consistent of just praying for my family, hoping that God keep them safe, healthy, and alive, because it could be people looking like people that's not really my family, and then it could make things worse, yo. And I'm not gonna lie to myself. So I don't know who in their right state of mind would try to bring some type of harm or pain to somebody in my family if they see that I'm not doing that. You know what I'm saying? It got to be somebody who don't like me, or it got to be it pissed me the fuck off, yo. And it's bothering me a whole lot more as of lately. Let me address when I went to jail in June 25th, 2015, yo. I got up, I went to apply to the Walmart Distribution Center in Arcadia, Florida. I applied to Walmart Distribution Center, right? I drove all the way to Arcadia, Florida, got to the Walmart Distribution Center, and asked them what's the best thing to do to like apply to the job. I talked to somebody that worked there for about 5 minutes. They gave me information to get online. I went driving back down I-75 back toward Fort Myers Way, got pulled over by the police, and they told me that I had a violation of probation on my record. They ran my driver license plate. The state troopers pulled me over, told me I had a probation violation. I had completed the 6 months of probationary period, but I didn't finish my community service in time. And that's why they like labeled me as a violation of probation, because I had 100 hours of community service and I had like 70 or 80 hours complete of community service. You know what I'm saying? That's why they violated me. And that's why I went to jail for a whole month, even though I had paid off the $1,100 or something like that, court fees. I did the day work program, but my community service was incomplete, yo. I was doing community service at the Goodwill. Another thing, I had applied to this job called Heinz. They make like ketchup and mustard, I think, like that. But I never, they basically, this was right around the time when we had got like, I was making like $13 an hour or something, and Heinz was making like I think Heinz started off at like $11 an hour, but once you got hired in, you make like $19 an hour. And I got in there because they basically accepted me, they hired me, but I turned it down because I was making more money at Coca-Cola at the time. And I still remember this one girl named Jerica took a picture of me that day I went to go apply to Heinz. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember the exact day, but when I went to the job interview and all of that, I turned it down like a week later because the pay was either like, I think it was like $1 less. You know what I'm saying? And I just went back to Coca-Cola. I remember this, yo. And it was this one dude named Diego that worked at Heinz. He had worked at Coca-Cola in 2014. And he started working at Heinz. He was a forklift driver there. And they hired me immediately. They wanted me to come work with them, but I didn't go, yo. I didn't work with them. I chose to go back to Coca-Cola. I don't remember if this girl name was Brittany or Ashley, but it was this dude named Kelvin that I worked with at Coca-Cola. He had a cousin. I met her in a liquor store. I think this was on Thanksgiving Day in 2015. This is November, like 2015 or whatever. And I got her number at the liquor store. I pulled up on her a few days later. We had sex. And I think I came by there again and we had sex again. I don't remember the exact day, but we had sex again. And then when we got done having sex, I can't remember the exact day, yo, but I just remember cussing her out. I remember cussing no girl out, yo. I vividly remember this. Like, I remember asking her if I could, like, go back in her apartment for a couple minutes or something like that because I was kind of drunk and the police was riding around outside and she told me no. And I took offense to it because I took it like she must think that I got dropped off here or something. I just took offense to it. You know what I mean? Because I looked at it like she think that I'm trying to freeload on her or some shit like that. So I cussed her out on the phone in the parking lot, then hung up, but then just drove off. You know what I'm saying? I said, fuck it, I'll take my chances. I got shot December 5th, 2015. I was on short-term disability for a few months, and I came back to work at Coca-Cola by, I think this was March or April of 2016. But I saw that girl at the Walmart Supercenter before I went back to Coca-Cola because I remember I had got my hair braided. I had a fro when I got shot, and I had got my hair braided. And like right after I got my hair braided, I saw that girl at the Walmart Supercenter, yo, walking through Walmart. And at the time, I was in my mom's gold. She had a gold Benz truck. And I didn't say anything to her. I looked at her. She looked at me. This is in 2016 now, and that was it. And then she told my cousin Kelvin that she had sex with me. And when I came back, I still remember coming back to Coca-Cola and niggas laughing because they were saying that Kelvin was mad about it. And I remember pulling up on this dude, Ryan, yo, this is in like February and March of 2016. He was like, I heard you had sex with a bitch cousin, bitch. That's how they talking from my, I heard you fucked the bitch cousin, bitch, this and that, this and that. And I'm like, who told you that? Who you talking about? He's like, Kelvin. He said, that nigga was hot about that shit. That nigga was mad about that shit. And I'm like, shit, I don't know why. I ain't say nothing. She must have said something because I ain't say nothing to nobody. I found out that they was related like a day after I had got her number at that liquor store around Thanksgiving time of 2015, yo. Cause I told her I worked at Coca-Cola. Then she like, you know, Kelvin. I'm like, yeah, I know who that is. You know what I'm saying? I see that nigga around the way, whatever. I think I lied to her about the shift that I was on or something like that. So me and that girl had sex a few times, and that was it. That was it. Her name was either Brittany or Ashley. That was it, yo. That was it. I think I recorded it too, but if anybody seen that recording, it definitely wasn't me. Most definitely, like, as far as me uploading it goes, somebody hacked in my phone. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make that clear. And nobody saw that video. Nobody saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't like it was times I did used to fuck with some ladies and then I show some niggas like at my job, like, hey, look at this girl right here, you know what I'm saying? But I never sent that video out. But that lady in particular, I never even showed anybody that shit on the phone. Never. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even show anybody that. I deleted that video not too long after that, to be honest. So by the springtime of 2016, by May 2016, Pepsi called me in for a job interview, and I got in at Pepsi. When I left to go work at Pepsi and I left Coca-Cola, I told everybody at the Coca-Cola warehouse that I was going to work at the Walmart distribution center, and that was a lie. You know what I'm saying? I was saying I was going to go work in Arcadia at the Walmart distribution center. The truth was, I went to Pepsi. And the reason why I lied, because I didn't want everybody knowing my whereabouts, because I just felt like it was too much he say, she say going on, yo. Way too much. You know what I'm saying? A lot of niggas, like, it's a lot of niggas that be hating these days, yo. It's all kind of foul shit that be going on. That's why I said as of recently, like, I still reflect back when my birth certificate got stolen in December 2020 and everybody just acting like that's not a big deal. I still reflect back on how it's a possibility a lie got fabricated up on me and sparked up on me and everybody's overlooking it like it's a big deal. But, you know, unfortunately, I'm the one that keep on going through the messed up inconveniences, me and family members of mine. And people will try to make it look like I'm a hypocrite or I'm like, because they saying, oh, nigga, just a couple years ago, you was talking shit about your family. No matter what I said about my family, I ain't never been one to approve of somebody else trying to bring harm to them, so I'm not going to lie to myself when I feel like something not right. So, in my mind, I feel like everybody got to know what's really going on. Everybody got to know for a fact that they never talked to me for certain, because there's no way that this many people will literally be convinced by a damn cell phone, especially with all the shit that people's doing with phones these days. At one point in time, I had grown to believe that somebody had fuck around and tried to use a lookalike to look like me or try to clone me or some shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or had somebody walking around Cali acting like me, trying to look like me and doing all kind of crazy foul shit. Physically, actually, like a human being was possibly walking around trying to look like me. Somebody probably put on my hat. That John 146 hat got stolen when I was at the LA Mission in like July 2024. So did that black and white Adidas hoodie. Somebody probably put that hat and that hoodie on and then basically probably tried to frame me or something like that. Right after that hoodie got stolen, I walked across the street to the from the LA Mission, and I walked into the porta potty to take a piss right across the street from the LA Mission, and I saw a bag with my Walmart distribution center ID in there, with my contacts in there, and it was in the toilet, and I just left it alone. I ain't even grabbed that shit. I started working at the Walmart distribution center in Ridgeville, South Carolina in March 2022. That was my first and only time working at Walmart distribution center or ever working for Walmart. So a lot of lies got sparked up. People had their facts all fucked up and everything. And it could have been resolved with one conversation, but a lot of people didn't want to do that. They wanted to be childish and take some shit and run with it. I deal with this shit every year, all year, and still to this day, nobody has came and talked to me like an adult. They just rather went by what they saw online and run with that.